All right, good morning. Welcome to the morning show. It's Tuesday. We're excited. Having a good day so far. Brittany, are you having a good day?
Yes.
Let's go.
I slept in though.
Did you?
Yeah, like 30 minutes. And so
This is me.
it was like
She
30
poured me
minutes
coffee.
sleep in. And so it was like one of those, you should never do that.
Don't
Kids,
do it.
Don't snooze your alarm.
Do not hit the snooze. What happens when you snooze?
You lose.
You lose.
I just feel more tired if I do that. Like I've never woken up after snoozing my alarm and been like, oh, that was what I needed.
You know, I either read this or heard this, that when you very first wake up, like there are chemicals that are released to help you wake up. Mm-hmm. And when you go back to sleep, you've actually exhausted that chemical. So that's why the next time you try to wake up, it's
gone.
Horrible.
Well,
have I ever heard that?
I did have chemicals that helped me wake up, and I ignored them. Actually, I didn't ignore them. I went to the bathroom and I peed, and then I went back to sleep.
You flushed your chemicals down the toilet. Don't do it.
But it was true because I woke up and I was like, "Oh, this would be a great time to wake up. Like I'm gonna go make coffee." And then here's the problem though: when you have two adorable little children that are just laying there all cuddly,
Which that's a different show we could have.
Yeah.
Because we have our kids in the bed with us.
We do. We co-sleep.
We're one of those.
We have a king size.
We like our babies.
We co-sleep.
We do. Anyways, let's see here. Becky's on. What's up, Becky? I see here. I started my day off with my employee asking me, where are the cows? What?
Did they move?
Brittany. Dad jokes from Brittany. Special edition.
That was very funny.
Oh! Dude, you're on fire.
I know.
You're on fire.
It's that extra snooze time.
Come on now. Ain't no losing with her. Martinez is with us. How are you, sir?
Morning, terrific Tuesday. Good morning.
Let's go. She's laughing at you. Man.
Just fine.
Good.
I'm a hoot.
Brittany's a hoot today. She's on fire making things. Look at that condensation.
I hear.
Condensation.
Loaded.
She is loaded. It's powerful. Well, apparently, so should we just bring in this conversation? Because apparently I've been playing basketball. And
Apparently?
well, I'm a little sweaty right now.
Yeah.
And apparently my co-host is not happy about that whatsoever.
You know, it's not BO, so that's fine.
You see there?
Yeah. There's a distinct
There's a difference.
in athleticism and the smell of it.
It's true.
Versus like I have poor hygiene. It's very different.
It's true.
Neither of which is my favorite. Like I wouldn't put a candle.
We're having a meeting, is what I've been informed. We're having a meeting after this show, so.
The meeting is don't be so competitive. Get home in enough time to prepare yourself.
Shower yourself, young man. Okay? You are not a young man anymore. Actually, I still am. I don't even want to hear all
I
that.
think the days you play ball is the days you're going to solo this.
Or, here's a good idea. Let's take a vote. Maybe the days that I'm playing ball and I run a little late, maybe Brittany should solo the show. What say you, good people of Stream World? Come on,
says
Martinez.
that.
I think you two can handle us by myself. I mean, by yourselves.
No brainer.
Come on.
You say that, but like I don't know how to.
I'd set it up for you.
Like it's like a
Come on,
rocket ship.
Thursday. Let's debut this.
Nope.
Let's debut
Yeah.
this. The morning show.
You're gonna see him on there Thursday. We're gonna laugh about it.
She said we're gonna laugh about. We're gonna laugh about
I
these
would-
silly moments.
I'm not gonna solo the show because I wouldn't be consistent.
And there's the segue, ladies and gentlemen. Consistency.
I did tell Jason that that's a word we cannot change in the middle of the week.
It would be
not
very
allowed to deviate.
inconsistent
Yeah.
of us to change the word in the middle of the week. By the way, while we get started, just so you know, if you're new to the show, basically what we do, this is a morning community. We get together, we have great conversations. We just have fun, talk about life, but we also talk about ways of getting better. We want to get better. We want to improve. People that are talking and chatting on this show, you're going to find out they're very committed to their success, to their dreams, to their goals. And it's very inspiring. It's something that for me, this is very enjoyable. And I appreciate everybody being on the show. And in fact, Monday, let's see here. We've got Papa Bob just coming through and I have a fabulous day, my friend. Have a fabulous day too, Papa Bob. All right.
I scroll too.
Yeah.
I scroll.
Y'all,
It's on the shirt.
this girl is punny. But Martinez, you're the one that introduced the word of the week, consistency. Consistency. And man, we had a conversation out of that yesterday. What are some things that maybe you took away from yesterday and you started like really thinking about, that word? Because obviously that word came up in your spirit, son. So what's some things you think about consistency as we continue this conversation?
Yeah, so like consistency, the idea would be like, I was looking at, like anything worth doing or having done was probably brought about through consistency, like the very fabric, the shirt on my back, like somebody was consistent in putting the buildings downtown or the house that you're in, somebody was consistent, kind of like made a point each day. So anyway, to be there, make something happen.
I love
I was thinking consistency is like, without it, you probably don't have a functional society or a functional person or functional goals, but
Right.
yeah. So, but like, I love what we're talking about at the tail end as far as consistency, and Brittany was very instrumental in bringing that out, and that is, consistency doesn't ask for you to feel good to participate, to make it happen. Consistency says, hey, it's just got to be done. It's worth doing, whether you are in your emotions or not. Get it done.
Yeah.
You know?
Be a good time for a
In
Nike
a
ad.
nutshell.
Get it done.
Just do it.
Oh, yes. Like, that's not.
Get it done. No.
Well, he said that, and you're like Nike ad. What?
Just do it.
Got it.
Anyways, you're right. You're completely right. You know, we did kind of leave off on this idea. We're kind of going in one path. I think it's a fair question. How do you become consistent? We talked that yesterday. Is you do it with regardless of how you feel. But let me ask you guys this: when do you think you achieve consistency? Like, is it if I do something 2 times in a row, I've technically been consistent. So when would you say that you're consistent? Like, what does consistency consist of?
I don't think that you do achieve consistency.
Okay, talk about that.
To me, I put that in the same category.
Is that not a goal of mine? Don't I want to be a consistent person?
I mean, yeah, you can always, but like you also want to be saved, right? But I don't think it's saved. I think you're on the road to salvation. Like, salvation is a lifelong process, right? But like, same with consistency. It's a lifelong developing thing. And up until that point, you can be consistent in something, but to just say you've achieved it, I don't know. Interesting.
It is interesting. TJ says, he's on Facebook. Good morning, TJ. He says, every great person became great. Not on the day of the event we know of what happened, but the 1,000 days before it when they did the same thing they did on their famous day. Churchill was Churchill before, during, and after Hitler threatened the world.
See, he's right. Like,
what's he saying? He says, you become consistent when it becomes a lifestyle. It's like humility. You have to strive towards it. It's a journey, not a destination.
Goes back to the salvation thing. You tuned me out. You're reading TJ's, but I said it's like salvation. Like, you're not saved.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you've lived a Christian life and you're not here no more. But like, salvation is a journey. It's a process that's lifelong. Like, I'm on the road.
Okay.
That path.
Okay.
Inconsistency for me would be the same thing.
Well, then let me ask you this.
Not that it's as important as salvation. Like, that is in its own level.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's say that I am, quote unquote, consistent.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to be imperfect?
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
But doesn't that break the inconsistency?
There's a difference that you said, when do you achieve consistency? Like, I don't know that you, like, to say achieve to me would be like, I'm at the top. I don't know that you ever, but you can be consistent on your journey.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is getting really weird.
Is it?
It's a little in and out. I don't know.
I'm just trying to press on a point. I'm just trying to see what people are.
What's your takeaway to the questions you ask?
What are my takeaways?
Yeah.
So I kind of look at it like with consistency. I think if the goal to be consistent, like if that's the goal, I do think that maybe that's the wrong goal. I think that maybe, I'll tell you this. Can we get in the weeds for a second? Okay. Martinez, can we get in the weeds for a second?
Let's knock it out.
Well, no, I want to get in. No, just kidding. Every day is a new day.
Yeah.
What is it? You was about to say something.
TJ has a really good point there.
Okay, here we go.
Consistency.
TJ says, there's a scripture that goes along with Britt. A righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets back up. You're exactly right. And that's a little bit of where I'm going, because at the end of the day, we have the opportunity in this day to choose what we're going to do, to make the decisions, right, that we feel are in our best interest, pursuing the lifestyle, the goals, whatever. And when this day ends, I have a new day.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is, consistency is what other people see. But for me, it's me actively taking choices every single day. Like, have you ever heard people say, take it one day at a time? I think I finally get what they're saying and where they're coming. The truth of the matter is, regardless of whether I win or not today, my consistency is not a matter of, like, consistency is the story that can be told of what I've been doing. But for me to, quote, be consistent, I have to show up every single day. The Bible says God's mercies are new every single day. So even if I didn't have a good day yesterday, that's a fact. But the truth is, I'm still on my way. To your point, I may have done the wrong thing, okay? But that doesn't stop me from getting where I'm going. And the idea of pursuing consistency might actually be a deterrent, because consistency is the story that is told about you. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes me think, though.
Okay, please. That's what this show's all about. Get to thinking, children.
Aren't we all consistent in something? It's a matter of
You don't have to tell me to eat.
You know what
I
I'm
am
saying?
going to eat consistently.
But even at that, you can be a consistent procrastinator.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? You
I'll
can
be a pro at
consistent-
procrastinating.
You know, yeah, you consistently self-destruct. You consistently, like, consistency you have built within you. It is. It's like the righteous man that falls 7 times. Well, what does that mean? That means he's a consistent human.
Right.
Right? Like, I mess up, but let me tell you where my consistency is. If I do fall short, and I will because I'm human, I will get back up every time.
Right.
Because I'm consistently not going to wallow where I fail.
Right.
You know, so it's like consistency, yeah. I mean, like, it's kind of built within you, and you have to steer it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's like you have to point that towards something. And if you focus on, I just need to be consistent, I don't think you're following, you know, it's like, what are you being consistent in? Like, where's, like you're saying, like, what is your goal? What is your, you know, I get so mad when people, you know, if somebody says I get up every day at 5 a.m.
Okay.
And granted, when somebody says that, you probably don't get up every day at 5 a.m. There's probably some times where you sleep in, but for the most part, and that is something for you to say it. That's something you're proud of, right? Yeah. And I can't stand when somebody says, "I was up at 7 and you weren't there. You're still in the bed." You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, I'll tell you, you don't really get up at 5.
You're a liar.
Yeah, that's so. I'm like, why is this such a? So now it's like people sometimes, depending on who you are, and if you're proud of that achievement, you step in. There's some people that just kind of try to catch you slipping. You know, but I feel like with consistency, it's kind of your average. You averaged it out. For the most part, I get up at 5 a.m. every. You know. But,
I agree.
Yeah, there's just a lot of. Yeah. If you're focused on the consistent 5 a.m. every morning.
Yeah.
Then if you have a day where your body is fatigued and you're like, I've got to have that extra rest. My kid puked till 3. You know,
that doesn't happen in this household ever.
But like,
ever.
you know, so yeah, I have to bounce back or whatever. To me, that doesn't affect that doesn't mean you're inconsistent, right? But that means that you're being healthy and listening to what you need in that moment.
I agree with that.
I'm consistently choosing my health. I'm consistently choosing my, you know, well-being. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm probably.
No. You're Martinez, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think you're both right. I think there's a lot of validity to what you're sharing earlier, Jason, as far as it's not for everybody, you know, and it might be the wrong goal or the wrong focus. But, like, I was just thinking, too, like, you know, and Brittany alluded to this, you know, like, the goal is what makes you consistent or encourage or inspires you to be consistent. And by the way, the consistency is not a public report card. You know, it's not something for someone to check off the box to say, "Hey, you're consistent." No, you know you know this is like an internal thing. There's somewhere someone told me, said, "Let a man be persuaded fully by his own mind." You know, it's like there's a be fully persuaded within yourself about your commitment to this goal or whatever, and if you can look back or if you can see there in the course of the week or your years or life, you give yourself an internal report card, and you indict yourself or reward yourself, and you can say, hey, I've been consistent, or I have not been consistent, or and it was because of my lack of consistency that I didn't fulfill or achieve my whatever. But like consistency, it's an internal report card. I think that we give ourselves to and how do we know? Like I think you how do you know you're consistent? You obviously the fruits of your labor potentially. You that inner self that says, hey, I'm happy with the results here. I'm not happy with the results here. I haven't done my part. I didn't lay out. I laid out a plan and I didn't follow it all the way through. I didn't show up every day. I didn't show up every hour. Whatever. But like consistency is my report card. It's mine. It's not for my neighbor to give me. I could care less about him or her or whoever. It's like I'll beat up on my own self.
But,
you know what I mean?
But I think that's the root of.
Say it. We both.
What you say?
No, when he said that, we both were like, ooh.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, that is the root conversation, I think, about consistency. Because a lot of people, I'll hear them say stuff like, man, I can't be consistent. I'm down in myself consistent, blah, blah, blah. But the better question is, what is it that's allowed, or who is being allowed to judge you for that lack of consistency? Mm-hmm. Because here's a good question. Did you even ask yourself, is this who I'm even supposed to be?
That was yep. Why are you doing it?
Why are you even doing it? Like man, I wish I could get on this plan, blah, blah, blah. Like, why are you trying to get on my plan? My plan is my plan. Just so happens there are other people that are on my plan. But that doesn't mean that everybody needs to be on my plan. What happened about you being uniquely and wonderfully made?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
you and I are together.
We're together
13 years almost, but our plans are different.
Absolutely.
Like we're built different.
We're different, bro.
But yeah, like, I mean, if I judge my consistency based on your direction of consistency,
right,
I'm liable to be really hard on myself and be like, well, I'm not doing that and this and that.
I just suck.
Yeah, but I am to the point in my life where I'm at, but a lot of that has to do with the direction of which you're living. And are you chasing what you want or what you need? Mm-hmm. And do you believe in yourself enough to be consistent?
Here's a good question. People that are like, man, I'm struggling. And again, this is not a bailout. Okay, this is not a bailout, because some things you just got to do, right? I'm not saying, I don't like shower. Like that, we've established that. We established that there are some things that must be done for the sake of decency. But when it comes to goals and desires and things that we've talked about in the past, and maybe you're on here and you're like, dude, I don't know, I just can't get any traction. Why do you think you even need to do that? Who said that you're supposed to do X, Y, or Z? Are you trying to have somebody else's goal? Or is that your goal? Yeah. Does that line up with your identity? Maybe the reason you're inconsistent is because it's contrary to who you are.
I tell you this, you could do the same thing as health. Let's bring up health, right?
Yeah.
We could have
going healthy.
We could have the same regimen, right? Mm-hmm. The same whatever. It's still going to produce different results because our makeup is different, right?
I don't wear makeup.
Me as a female, I'm going to fluctuate in weight differently than you. Mm. I'm going to, like we always joke about it in the female community. You men can eat a large pizza and be just fine, and we can look at it and our pants start to burst, But the idea is, you could follow somebody else's actions to the T, you're still going to produce somewhat of a different result because you are a different person. Your makeup and you're built different, So to that point, don't try to pattern yourself after. Use what somebody else is doing as your inspiration, but kind of map out your own. Not your own consistency, but map out your own plan that you can be consistent in life. Your own business strategy. My goodness, I follow so many scroll saw artists. I follow so many furniture flippers, and they are incredible. And I'm going to take what they do as inspiration, but I'm also going to take it and understand that just because it happened that way for them doesn't mean it's going to happen that way for me. But I'm going to be consistent, and I'm also going to create my business model to fit me. You know what I mean? There's a few things that work for them, and that's awesome. But that doesn't mean I'm going to pattern everything because I am me, and I have to. This has to work around my schedule, and this has to, it has to fit me. And then once I create that plan, I can be consistent within it. And remember my goal. Not try to be competitive and be where they are. Like, remember my goal, my plan. TJ wrote something else that was really good.
He says, I think the component you both are saying is both being mindful of and self-evaluation. I think that you have to follow through, which means you are continually aware of where you are and measuring growth. That is true. That is true. You have to know, once you own who you are, now it's like, okay, if that is who you're going to be, it's time to get going. Kayla says that's the truth. Y'all have seen Billy's cookie addiction.
I know. And look at him. He's great shape. But, he can just throw down on some cookies.
Why me, God?
Yeah. Me, on the other hand, whole new wardrobe just looking at him.
Martinez, final thoughts from you on this. You've got the remaining time. What do you think about all this stuff we're kicking around?
I mean, I think it's fantastic. There's always that challenge, right? When you start off when you start a journey, whether it's just human nature for our eyes to look across the street at our neighbor and see what they're doing and want something better or bigger. I don't know. It's just that I don't. That's always going to be a battle. And and of course, when it comes to starting a business or anything worthwhile, there's a blueprint, and so we figure, hey, let me follow that blueprint, and then we kind of get that momentum into trying to do it the way someone else does it. And you make a valid point. It's like, hey, who says you have to do it their way? But it's just, there's always there's always going to be that that pull to do it versus this way versus your way or something. But my thing with consistency is it's like, for people, and even certainly myself, to understand that good or bad, everything that is a product of my life right now was the result of consistency. And whether I was intentional or unintentional, consistency brought it about. Whether it's a bad report at the doctor's office, or there's something, whether it's my car breaking down. It just didn't break down. To kind of piggyback what Brother TJ was talking about as far as the illustration, the guy didn't become great that one day. It was he was being consistent, and then that one day it kind of was made public. It kind of puts me in the mind of that scripture, your sin will find you out, right?
Yeah.
It's like the things that you do in darkness or light will be brought out, And so consistency is like, okay, if you're where you are right now, and you're like, hey, I can't sign off that I'm pleased where I am right now, then just recognize that where you are right now was a result of consistency.
Right.
And that you that no one was grading you on that report card. But you need to self-evaluate to grade yourself now if you want different results. So
absolutely.
I turn it back to you guys.
I love it. One more comment here. We got TJ.
The Walt Disney Company almost went under after Walt and Roy Disney died because Walt's son-in-law, the new leader, kept asking himself, what would Walt do? But wasn't really doing anything. It's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah.
You know, you're not that person. You are you for a reason. So being consistent with yourself is a very important thing. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What are you consistently telling yourself that is either helping you or hurting you?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, the time is now basically 8:30. It's literally getting ready to change in just a second. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Join us again tomorrow, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to continue this conversation. By the way, wherever you're watching this, make sure you're subscribed, liked, whatever it is that you've got to do to get notified that we come live. Also, make sure if you have some comments or some insights or things you want to be on the show, drop a comment. As you can tell, we're going to bring you in as a part of that conversation. And if you have some insights to set up our next conversation, inbox us, right? Message us, text us, whatever. And we'll keep kicking it down the road. Kayla says, people ask how Billy does what he does musically. And yes, a good bit was talent. But Britt, how many times as a kid did he disappear to practice guitar?
Listen, talent will only get you so far.
Mm-hmm.
And you there's a, but it's consistency that gets you success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like consistent. And that's right. Billy spent hours on that guitar.
Yeah.
And it shows. You know what I mean? Like your consistency shows results. And,
Oh,
he's
absolutely.
phenomenal at it. And it's
Well, I was
true.
going to say, and with that being said, if I'm not mistaken, I think Billy actually does some teaching. So if you or someone you know that wants to learn how to play guitar from one of the best, Billy McCool.
Yes.
Billy McCool, you need to hit him up, check him out.
But hit him up consistently.
Consistently, right? Ring. It's not going to be like Phoebe Buffet teaching you.
It's not a one class.
This is caveman. This is
iceberg.
This is iceberg.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Consistent.
Consistent.